Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have Jack. He's an interesting guy who works in fashion and the music business, but he's had a life living on a canal boat. And seeing I've never lived on a canal boat. I have lived on a ship for 5 years, but I want to hear his story. So nice to have you here today, Jack.
Hey, mate.
So why a canal boat?
Why?
Yeah, what made you just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to live on a canal boat? Or whatever?
Bit of so basically I just split up with a girlfriend.
Okay.
Moved out.
That will do it.
Classic. Need somewhere to live. And I don't know, I was clearly not in the right state of mind. So I decided to buy a canal boat. It's quite affordable.
Oh, you bought one?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you went all out.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be interesting.
Don't do it by halves.
Okay, yeah. You say if you're going to do it, go large and
Exactly.
go hard. Yeah, that kind of. So I have to ask, how much is a canal boat?
So they vary a lot, but a good boat, narrow boat, between, I'd say, 30 to 50 grand.
Yeah.
And then if it's moored, if it's got a permanent mooring spot, you're going to pay double that minimum.
So
it's like a parking space in a car, right?
So you buy it with it and then you can stay there all the time?
Exactly. Whereas most of them you have to move, I think it's a mile every 2 weeks in the same direction for half the year. And then you can turn around.
What?
So you can
Jesus, wet man! What?
so you can start in like Paddington, Regent's Park, but 6 months later you're going to be way out past Tottenham because you just have to keep moving. To keep it fair for everyone, right? So people don't just hog the best spots. They keep everyone moving along. Now look, it's not 100% policed, but that's the theory.
So there must be rows about, you haven't moved!
Oh God, yes.
I like this
God,
guy,
yes.
man. I like this guy. So, so you're getting quite a few scraps then.
You know, I mean, boat people are very passionate and normally very understanding, but you know, yeah.
What's that? Okay. What's that? But that's serious. You move in the same direction.
Yeah, well, as I say, a lot of people kind of go back and forth a bit. They kind of bend the rules, but in theory, yeah.
Because who's policing it? Local authority.
There are like canal traffic wardens,
Is
and
it?
you know, you have to have your little license plate displayed in the window so they can check where you were.
You can't bribe them.
I never tried.
No, you could, because they're not like real things. They say, mate, come on, just take this.
As I say, I never tried. So.
Okay, fair enough. What was a typical day like for you on
look.
the canal boat?
You know, the only difference is from a normal place is obviously it's tiny, so there's not much storage, and it's temperature. It's all about temperature. So in the summer it gets super hot, quite a lot of insects on there, like flies, spiders, which is fine if you can deal with that.
Mosquitoes?
Yeah.
You get those where it gets stagnant.
Yeah, well, you're next to the water, so you're gonna get a lot of bugs. And then winter, it just gets so cold, like so cold. So first thing you do when you get home in the winter, trick is turn the oven on, full blast, open the oven door and get a fire going. Because you have a little cast iron stove, get the fire going, and that powers all the radiators. There's no central heating.
That powers all the radiators?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to get your fire going as soon as possible.
So wait a minute, when the fire, what's that energy source? Gas? Wood?
I know, wood.
So you got wood for the fire?
Wood and charcoal, yeah.
And charcoal for the cooker?
For the fire. Just get the whole fire going. And then the cooker is gas powered, hot water is gas powered. So you have to change your gas cylinder every couple of months or so.
So that means people must, like, down where Hackney Marshall is, you must know that area.
Yeah, of course.
People just go in the woods and just chop down some chop some wood down. It's bloody cold. I don't care.
I mean, the proper way of doing it is obviously to buy proper firewood, etc.
Bollocks to that. If I'm freezing my butt, I just pick up wood as I go home.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I work in a building where there's a lot of construction recently. So obviously I talked to a lot of the construction companies. The boys used to give me like loads of wood if they'd had to break stuff down.
Oh, so you tell them you live in a canal boat?
Yeah, and they were like, what?
Yeah.
And
I'd
be like,
give me the wood.
yeah, I was like, come on, don't give me that, just give me the wood. And then check your water levels, because obviously you need to fill your water tank up all the time. Yeah, there's a lot of maintenance on it.
How long were you living on this canal boat for?
Just over a year. It wasn't for me.
So you just said, and did you get your money back fully?
Not quite. Made a small loss, but saved enough in that time, if that makes sense, because it's a very cheap way to live. Very, very cheap way to live. Like bills, all that stuff is tiny.
I suppose you spend a lot of time doing stuff, maintenance.
Yeah, but you know, it's good.
Was
Learn
it
new
a
skills.
wooden boat or is that the right term?
It's a steel boat. They're narrow
Steel?
boats, they were steel boats, big diesel engine at the back.
It must have been cold.
Yeah, as I say, they're not warm things.
Why didn't you get a wooden one?
You know, I don't know, all narrow boats are steel boats.
Are they?
Yeah, it's just how it is. I mean, look, it's not like being outside. It's just like a very cold place to live. And as I say, lack of central heating is there, so it takes a long time to warm up.
So if you're out on the club and you're in your pool, you bring it back to your canal boat, what's the reactions that you've had?
So, well, without sounding, you know, whatever, pulling on a canal boat is one of the easiest things in the world to me. And I know that doesn't sound logical.
No, it does.
No
way it does, because no one's done it before.
Everyone's curious. They're like, I really want to see your boat. And you're like, all right.
Yeah, and then they want to get shagged on the canal boat. They know what it's like.
You know, motion of the canal. Not quite motion of the ocean.
I don't go buy a canal boat now. How much you'd say it was again?
A little boat on the side.
Don't tell the missus that you got a canal boat. Where you going? Oh, I'm working late. Uber.
But yeah, that was my...
Moving it a mile every time is annoying.
Yeah, but you know, and there's locks and stuff that you have to navigate.
Yeah.
That takes a long time. Decent amount of physical work at canal boat.
If you could do it all again, would you?
Yeah, definitely. Because even though it wasn't for me, like, have an open mind, try things. And as I say, it gave me a year to save up a bit and upgrade to somewhere on dry land.
What would you say that you learned that you wish you knew when you started?
I wish I was better at the electrics, plumbing, that side of it before I started.
Oh, yeah,
There was a lot of like learning on the job, stuff breaking all the time, taking me a long time to figure out how to fix it. I mean, yeah, I could have just called an electrician, called a plumber, but give it a go yourself, right?
Yeah, but you understand electrics and plumbing now.
In a very basic sense, but a little bit.
That's the main thing. So at least you had a go.
Yeah.
And the worst case scenario, if you called the man who can.
Yeah, but
for that kind of thing, do you need a specialist plumber, specialist?
They exist, so you use them because they exist. So you know, it's one of those things where you normally ask the person on the boat next to you or whatever, do you have any experience with this? They'll probably have been doing it longer than me, so they'll either help out or be like, I don't know, but there's a marine engineer or a marine plumber who I know. Give him a call, he'll tell you what to do.
Security wise, obviously you're just moored up.
Yeah, bang a padlock on the doors. It's not the most secure thing.
Did you ever have any break-ins or issues?
Never. But as I say, I was only there for a year.
And mind you, is it like a community where people look out for each other?
Yeah, I mean, as I say, I think the kind of boat people, super, super friendly. Definitely like a certain type of person who's like used to it, really into it. And definitely look out for each other, probably more than regular neighbours do. Just because you kind of have to.
Yes, you're all in the same boat.
Hey!
Yeah. And I have to ask you, did it take you long before you was able to sell the boat?
Probably about the same time as a flat, I would guess. A few months.
This went up and
there's specialist estate agents who do boats. So stick it with them and they find you a buyer.
And do you have to, when you're buying a boat, what are the things you need to look out for?
I mean, it was my first time, so I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
I was just like, this looks nice, everything seems to work.
Yeah, but knowing what you know now, what are the things you need to look out for?
You really want to make sure everything works. I mean, like, the plumbing is super clear. You want to make sure the boiler's in amazing condition. Those are the two biggest things, man. Because if they go, it's not fun. It's not fun at all. And ideally, you wanna find a spot for self-storage because you're not going to fit all your belongings on a boat.
Oh, is it?
So
you did learn to be a minimalist.
Nah, I still have too much stuff.
Do you have a car, or bicycle, or anything?
No, I'm a born and bred Londoner. Normally public transport, cabs, walking. So never learned to drive.
Okay.
Drive a boat, but.
Oh yeah, so you learned to drive. Did you need a license for that?
I never got one. I wasn't sure, but I didn't drive much. So.
Yeah, because I know.
But I think the max speed is like 4 knots or something on the canal,
Is it done
which is incredibly slow.
Yeah, I'm
So-
thinking, is it done on speed? Because I used to be in the Marines, and we used to drive ribs and all these other things, and I had to go and get my RIA license.
Okay.
That was based on length of
Yeah.
the vessel, which is an interesting one. So what does the future hold for you now?
You know, enjoying my flat on dry land is the main thing. You know, business is starting to be good at work. Life is good. Can't complain.
And just to give people an insight into your background, because obviously you speak very good English, but you are a inner London born
Yeah,
and bred.
absolutely. Born at Guy's, went to school at Borough, never really lived outside central South London, I guess. Live in Camberwell, Peckham now, so a couple of miles from where I was born.
Okay, so for all those Peckham people or South London people who are listening and thinking this is some guy from Hertfordshire or Twickenham, nope, he's one of us.
Yeah.
And he lived on a canal boat, so we can do it, you can do it. But yeah, apart from that, my last question I ask everybody is, what's the impact you want to have on the world?
Leave everything you encounter slightly better than you found it. Shouldn't be hard, right?
Would you say you did the same when you left your boat?
Yeah.
You probably
I made sure the plumbing was working.
You went to sell that. Yeah, let's just get it all. One quick last question. Knowing what you know now, would you have spent more money on a canal boat than you did? So instead of doing 30 to 50 grand, would you have gone for the 100 grand where you got on permanent mooring place and a better quality vessel?
Yes. Takes most of the downsides out of it.
It's just
So,
like,
yeah.
it's a fun, trendy.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thanks a lot for that,
Thank you.
and we wish you well.